The lost civilization of Egypt, the sands of Amun-Ra, the priestess of the sun. The desert had no mercy. For miles upon miles, the golden sands stretched like a living ocean, waves of heat rising under the burning gaze of Ra, the sun god himself. But deep within this vast eternity stood a city, carved from stone and sunlight, shining like a mirage made real. They called it Ishkara, the city of the rising flame. Its people worshipped the gods of the old world, long before Thebes, before Memphis, before the pharaohs even wore crowns of gold. Here the priests spoke directly to the heavens, and among them stood one woman destined to change the fate of her people forever. Her name was Neferet, the high priestess of Amun-Ra. In the temple of the sun, Neferet stood upon the high altar, her white linen robes flowing like water. The morning light entered through tall sandstone columns, casting golden rays across her face. Her skin glowed bronze, her dark hair braided with beads of lapis and gold. Her eyes, calm yet filled with storms, gazed upon the great statue of Amun-Ra, god of creation and light. "O great Amun," she whispered, "let your light remain upon Ishkara, and keep the darkness from our gates." For weeks the sands had begun to shift strangely. Farmers whispered of the river retreating. The stars themselves, her sacred guides, had started to move in unfamiliar patterns. The signs troubled her. That morning, the High Council had summoned her to the throne room of Pharaoh Akamar, ruler of Ishkara, a man of power, pride, and deep secrets. As Neferet entered the grand hall, golden pillars towered above her like the ribs of a god. The air smelled of incense and lotus oil. Pharaoh Akamar sat upon his obsidian throne, wearing a serpent crown that glimmered like fire. "Neferet," he said, his voice echoing, "you read the stars and hear the whispers of the gods. Tell me, why has the Nile abandoned us?" Neferet bowed, the golden amulet of Amun swaying upon her chest. "My lord, the signs speak of imbalance. The gods are restless. Perhaps the temples have angered them." Akamar's eyes narrowed. "Or perhaps the priests have grown fearful." Behind him stood his general Karun, a man carved from war and shadow. His eyes lingered on Neferet too long, not with reverence, but with a hunger she distrusted. "The people grow impatient," Karun said. "They demand offerings to restore the river. Perhaps the gods require something greater." "A sacrifice?" Akamar asked softly. Neferet felt her blood freeze. "The gods do not thirst for blood," she said firmly. "Only for truth." A tense silence filled the hall. Akamar smiled faintly. "Then find me the truth, priestess, or Ishkara will drown in its own dust." That night, Neferet climbed the ancient stairway to the temple's observatory. The stars shimmered like diamonds scattered by divine hands. Her assistant, Tari, followed her, a young scribe barely 16, nervous but loyal. "Mistress," Tari said softly, "the sandstorms come more often now. The farmers fear the end is near. Every ending is written in the stars before it touches the earth." Neferet replied, "But tonight, the heavens are whispering something I do not understand." She lifted a bronze mirror, polished to reflect the night sky. The constellations twisted in reflection. Orion moved eastward too fast. Sirius, the star of Isis, flickered red. Suddenly a cold wind swept across the rooftop. The torches flickered out. And there, upon the horizon, a shadow moved across the moon. A voice not of this world murmured in her mind. "The sands remember what men forget. The light of Amun fades beneath the earth." Neferet gasped, clutching her chest. "Who speaks?" she whispered to the darkness. But there was no answer, only the hiss of shifting sand below. The next day, the city awoke to chaos. The river Ishar, lifeblood of the kingdom, had turned black as obsidian. Dead fish floated upon its surface, and the smell of decay poisoned the air. The people gathered before the palace gates, crying out for the gods' mercy. "The river is cursed," shouted a farmer. "The gods abandon us," cried another. Pharaoh Akamar appeared before them, raising his staff. "Silence. The high priestess will speak. The gods have spoken to her." Thousands turned their eyes to Neferet. Her heart pounded. The truth, that she had heard a warning of darkness and could destroy thee. Pharaoh's rule, yet to lie, could doom them all. "The gods demand that the sacred tomb of Amun-Ra be reopened," she declared. "His light must be restored where it was first born, beneath the temple of the sun." The crowd fell silent. No one had spoken of that tomb for generations. Legend said it was sealed by the first kings themselves, for within it lay the heart of Amun, a relic of immeasurable power. That night, torches lined the temple halls as Neferet led a procession of priests into the forbidden catacombs. The air grew cold, heavy with age. The walls shimmered with carvings of serpents and suns, symbols of the eternal struggle between light and darkness. At the deepest chamber she found it, a great obsidian door carved with the mark of Ra. "No one has opened this in 1,000 years, whispered Tari. "Then tonight the gods shall breathe again," Neferet said. With trembling hands, she pressed her palm to the door. Her amulet glowed, faint at first, then blinding. The carvings flared to life and the stone began to move. When the door finally opened, a gust of cold air poured out, air that smelled not of death, but of eternity. Inside lay a golden sarcophagus, surrounded by walls covered in strange hieroglyphs, not of any known dynasty. Neferet knelt before it, eyes wide. At its heart glowed a crystal, pulsing faintly with light. "The heart of Amun," she whispered. Tari stepped closer, awe on his face. "Mistress, it's beautiful. Should we—" The moment his fingers brushed the crystal, the temple shook. The sarcophagus lid split open. A burst of golden dust filled the air, swirling like a storm. And in the chaos, a voice thundered through their minds. "You who awaken the forgotten shall carry the curse of the gods." The light engulfed everything. When Neferet awoke, she lay amidst ruins. The catacombs had collapsed. The priests were gone. Only sand and shattered stone remained. Tari was nowhere to be seen. Her amulet, once golden, now burned faintly red, the mark of wrath. Above, the Temple of the Sun had split in two. And beyond its broken pillars, she saw the impossible. The river Ishar now flowed backward, away from the city, vanishing into the desert like it was being swallowed by the earth. Neferet fell to her knees, tears cutting lines through the dust on her face. "What have I done?" From the ruins behind her, a shadow moved, something ancient. Tall, cloaked in gold dust. It whispered her name. "Neferet." She turned and gasped. The figure's face was hidden, but its eyes burned with divine fire. "You have awakened me," it said. "Now the gods shall reclaim what was theirs." The sands trembled. The city screamed. Neferet ran, up through the temple halls, through collapsing pillars and falling statues, until she reached the outer steps. The entire city of Ishkara was drowning in sand, swallowed whole by the desert's wrath. People fled, their cries lost in the storm. Above them, the sky had turned crimson, the sun blackened by a burning ring. "Amun-Ra," she cried. "Forgive me." But the only answer was thunder. The golden towers crumbled, the sacred river turned to dust, and in one final flash of light, Ishkara was gone. Centuries passed. The desert reclaimed everything. Only the sands remained, shifting, eternal, carrying whispers of what once was. But deep beneath those sands, where no man's eyes could see, a faint red glow still pulsed. The heart of Amun, waiting to rise again. The awakening of Ishkara. Discovery. The sun hung low over the Valley of the Kings, casting long shadows across the desert. Dr. Layla Hassan, a young but brilliant Egyptologist, wiped the sweat from her brow as she surveyed the excavation site. The sand had been stubborn, resisting her team's efforts for weeks. But beneath the shifting dunes, a strange outline had begun to emerge, an ancient structure, unlike any known tomb or temple. The carvings were unfamiliar, not from any known dynasty, and radiated a strange energy that made the hairs on her arms stand on end. "Dr. Hassan, look at this," called her assistant Omar, pointing to the base of a sandstone column that had appeared from beneath the sand. The symbols etched into it were almost alive, glowing faintly in the dying light. Layla knelt, brushing the sand away. Her fingers trembled as she traced the marks. This isn't any known language," she whispered. "It's older, much older than we've ever found." Omar glanced at her nervously. "Could it be a forgery?" "No," she replied. "This is real, and it's dangerous. I can feel it." That night, as the team camped near the dig, Layla dreamt of a woman draped in white linen, standing atop a golden altar beneath the sun. "Neferet," the voice whispered. Her eyes snapped open. The desert was silent, yet a faint pulse seemed to beat from the sands beneath her. The first awakening. Over the next few days, the team uncovered the entrance to a buried temple, hidden beneath layers of sand and stone. The door was made of obsidian, carved with symbols that shimmered under the moonlight. "This matches the carvings from the column," Layla murmured. It's the same civilization, a city that shouldn't exist. As they prepared to enter, a sudden tremor shook the ground. The air seemed to thicken. Layla hesitated, remembering the dreams. "We should be careful," she warned. Inside, the air was cool, heavy with the scent of stone and incense that had lingered for millennia. The walls were lined with murals depicting golden towers, rivers of light, and people who worshipped the sun itself. At the deepest chamber, they found a sarcophagus unlike any they had seen. Its obsidian lid bore a single glowing crystal pulsing faintly with red light. "This must be the heart of Amun," Omar whispered. Layla reached out. The moment her fingers touched the crystal, the temple shuddered. A blinding light filled the chamber. When it faded, she gasped. Standing before her was a woman, radiant and terrifying, her robes flowing as if caught in a divine wind. Her eyes burned like molten gold.
"Who are you?"
Layla stammered. "I am Neferet. Priestess of the sun, you have awakened what was buried," the woman said, her voice echoing with power. The choice. The team debated. Some wanted to remove the crystal, to study it and bring fame to their names. Others, including Layla, felt a primal fear. "It's not just history," she said. "It's alive. It's the pulse of an ancient god." Neferet's eyes blazed. "Every choice carries a price. You have awakened the lost, and now you will face the consequences." Suddenly, the crystal's light expanded, engulfing the chamber. The murals came alive, towers rising, rivers flowing, warriors marching, priests chanting. Ishkara itself seemed to awaken, as if the city remembered the people who had once lived there. The sandstorm outside roared louder, threatening to bury the team beneath the desert forever. Layla knew the only way to survive was to return the heart to its resting place, just as Neferet had done thousands of years ago. "We seal it," she said, determination in her voice. With Neferet guiding them, they performed the ancient ritual. The crystal pulsed, then dimmed. The sarcophagus sealed, the murals returned to stone, and the air stilled. The sandstorm outside began to die down, leaving the desert quiet once more. Neferet looked at Layla, her expression grave. "You have done well, but the heart of Amun will never truly rest. It waits, and it remembers." With that, Neferet vanished, leaving only the echo of her warning. Aftermath. The team emerged from the temple, shaken but alive. The desert stretched endlessly, golden and silent, hiding its secrets beneath every dune. Layla gazed at the horizon. Ishkara had been found, and yet it had remained lost, preserved in the sands, and in the memory of a priestess who had transcended time. She clutched her notebook, filled with sketches of the temple and its symbols. Somewhere beneath the desert, the heart of Amun pulsed still, waiting for the day it would rise again. And Layla knew with a chill that ran through her spine, the lost civilization of Egypt had not abandoned the world. It had only been sleeping. The Curse of Ishkara. The first sign. Weeks had passed since the team had sealed the heart of Amun. Layla. Hassan tried to continue her research, but strange events began occurring around the excavation site. Cameras captured shadows moving where no one stood. Equipment malfunctioned inexplicably. Workers reported hearing whispers, chanting, and footsteps in the empty dunes. Even Omar admitted he had seen figures of people in ancient garb walking across the sands, though when he ran to them there was nothing. "It's as if the city is alive," Layla said, reviewing the footage in her tent. "But Ishkara is buried. How can this be?" Outside, the desert wind carried a faint red glow at night. The same pulse she had felt the night they discovered the heart. Something ancient had awakened, unseen eyes. One evening, Layla stayed late at the dig. The desert was eerily silent. Suddenly, the ground trembled beneath her boots. She stumbled toward the edge of the excavation and froze. A sandstorm rose on the horizon, blacker than any she had seen, swirling unnaturally. Within the storm, figures marched, warriors, priests and citizens of Ishkara, all moving as if drawn by a single unseen force. "No, this can't be real," Omar whispered, running to her side. From the storm, a voice rang out, low, commanding, familiar. "Neferet," Layla gasped. Stepping out of the dust, the priestess appeared, her robes torn but glowing faintly. Her eyes burned gold, and her presence made the air thick and heavy. "You disturbed the resting place of my people," Neferet said. "The heart of Amun remembers. The curse has begun." "Curse?" Layla asked. "We returned it. We sealed it." "Sealed it, yes," Neferet replied. "But the heart cannot forgive intrusion.